Hello, hello. Welcome to another session of Love Fest. I am so excited to come on here with you all. My name is Amber Maier, and I am a graduate of Corinne Grillo's Angel Alchemy Academy. When you find me, come on in, say hi to me in the chat, make sure I can see that you're in here with me. I really appreciate you joining me today for Love Fest. Today, I want to help you discover your destiny and uncover your soul purpose in the Akashic Records. So today, we are diving into the Akashic Records to uncover the unique purpose and gifts that your soul has been carrying all along. And so as you come in, please say hi to me in the chat to make sure I have everything working here and I can see your comments so I can answer any questions that you may have throughout this session. And for those of you who are popping in, I want you to think about if you could ask your soul anything right now and get a clear answer, what would it be? What would you ask your soul? Put that in the chat for me. I want to see what like your number one question would be for your soul today. So let me know in the chat. Oh, hey, Linda, good to see you. And thanks for saying hi. So I know I'm using this technology right. And, I'm not just talking to myself. It's always good to know that, right? Carrie's here and May's here. Awesome. Thanks for coming in. And so what I want you to think about. So today our session is about discovering your destiny and uncovering your soul purpose in the Akashic Records. And so we're going to dive into the Akashic Records and more specifically your Akashic Records to uncover your unique purpose and gifts that your soul's been carrying all along in this lifetime. And so I want you to think about if you could ask your soul anything right now and get a clear answer, what would it be? I want you to pop that in the chat. Aisha, do I love myself? Oh, Leilani's here. Awesome. So glad to see you. My gosh, you've been on my mind, Leilani. We need to chat. So for those of you I haven't met, my name is Amber Maier, and I am a graduate of Corinne Grillo's Angel Alchemy Academy. And I think Corinne is just the most incredible woman and human being ever. I think she just changes lives with everything she does, from her Angel Alchemy Academy to her membership in the Inner Sanctum. For those of you who maybe haven't heard yet, she's completely reimagining what church can be, and she's starting a new community called Awake. So definitely, keep listening to all the news and updates that she's sharing so you can learn more about that. So if you haven't checked out her programs, please do. I am a lifelong fan of Corinne, and she is just an amazing human and friend. And how amazing is this Love Fest? A totally free event full of amazing readings and meditations, healings and teachings. So can we give Corinne just like some really big love in the comments right now for how amazing she is to pull us all together and give us this awesome Love Fest this week? Oh, and Leilani, you added another comment too. Is your purpose tied to your work? Yeah, I know. Sometimes that just seems to be such a big question that comes up is like, is my work aligned with my purpose somehow? Is it not aligned? Should I be doing something else? So yeah, that's a really good question. So as I mentioned, my name's Amber, and I'm a healer, and I'm an intuitive coach, and I'm the founder of the Akashic Angel Healing Academy, which is a dual certification program in both the Akashic Records and the Angels. And my deepest passion and purpose is helping others develop their intuitive and healing gifts, really so you can break through the blocks that are holding you back from living an empowered and soul-led life. And why am I so passionate about this? It's because I believe that at the root of both our personal suffering and our world's challenges is a disconnect from our intuition and our spiritual nature. And that I believe that when we reconnect to our inner wisdom and the divine support that's available to us, like everything changes. When you reclaim your intuition, which I believe is your most innate and powerful gift, you open up divine guidance, and then you can finally experience the support of your angels and your guides and gain clarity on your soul's purpose, be able to find more hope and joy in your life and really live a more purposeful life. And so that's why I'm on a mission to help others connect to their intuition and live a life that's filled with magic and meaning. And also, that's why instead of giving you readings today, I want to show you that you have the power to receive your own guidance and that you have the power to access your Akashic records, that you are the oracle. So I'm really glad that you were here to experience the Akashic records today. Oh, and what a lovely day. You would love to know if you had a past life in ancient Greece and did you practice Egyptian magic? Yeah. Yeah, those are really great questions for the Akashic records. So I would hold on to that one today. We're going to get into your own Akashic records today and ask about purpose. But we might have a few extra minutes in there, and you can ask about this past life of yours too. Mintha, hi, good to see you. I've been seeing you on here this week too. It's a lot of fun. Carolyn's here too. Good to see you. I saw you on here as well. It's so fun to see so many friends on the screen this week. So, out of all the things I do, I resonate most with being a healer. And so, even though the Akashic Records are an amazing place to get guidance, I fell in love with them because of the profound aha moments I was given that just took me leaps in my healing journey. Like 10 years of unpacking frustrating patterns that it would have taken to resolve in therapy that I solved in like 10 minutes in the Akashic records. Kind of profound. And so like I want you to be able to have those experiences too. And so I see the Akashic records as an amazing healing tool, as a way to help you really start to understand your soul's calling and to help you get on your path to purpose. And I also found, as an added bonus, that I found that my intuitive gifts really started to blossom when I started to work in the Akashic records. Like, in fact, I was blown away by how much guidance I was able to receive. And if we have time today, I actually want to help you do this little exercise where you get to receive guidance from your intuition, and then you open up your Akashic records and you can feel the difference. And most people are blown away by how much more information they get from their Akashic records. So we have, oh, hi, Deborah. Good to see you. So good to see you all on here. So before I discovered the angels in the Akashic records and really the great wide world of healing, I really, really struggled in life. And on the surface, I functioned really well. I was successful in my career, but underneath it all, I was really suffering. And one of the reasons I love to help people find their purpose is that I found a big source of my pain was living out of alignment with my purpose. And so I found that when I'm feeling really connected to my gifts and my divine support team, I feel empowered, I feel confident and clear. And when I'm feeling disconnected from my gifts, that's when I feel like a victim and when I feel just really lost and purposeless in life. So if anyone here has been feeling like your soul's been calling you to a deeper and greater purpose for a while now, let me know in the chat, because this is really your Lightworker purpose awakening. This is a bigger purpose waiting for you, a path that aligns with your soul's deepest calling. And so you are here for a reason, and your intuition, your angels, and your Akashic records are here to help you step into that purpose. And so are you all ready to discover the magic of your Akashic records today? So let me know in the chat if you're ready. And also let me know, have you played with your Akashic records before? I would love to learn that too. What a lovely day. You are ready. Good, good. I am ready too. I'm excited. I love sharing the Akashic records with others. And so what we are going to cover in our light stream today is I'm going to share a little bit with you about why I love the Akashic records so much and what they can do for you and your healing journey. And then I'm just going to teach you like the super duper duper basics so you can jump into your Akashic records and experience them for yourself today. And then we're going to do, I'm going to lead you into your own Akashic records, and you're going to receive guidance from your guides of your records about your soul purpose and gifts. So make sure that you have a pen and paper to take notes. Sound like fun? Let's jump in. I want to make sure I check out the chat too. So if you do have questions about the Akashic records, certainly throw them in the chat, and I'm going to try to make sure that I catch your comments as we go too. Oh, Amber Mitten, so good to see you. I'm so glad to hear that you're interested in the Akashic records. I hope you have so much fun jumping into yours. Oh, and May, your question would be, will you be able to reach your highest potential in this lifetime? Yeah, that's a beautiful question. And like, what are things that you can do to help you achieve your highest potential too. Get some like steps from your guides on that too. And Gail, you are ready. Awesome. Oh, and Deborah, you're definitely waiting for greater clarity. Yeah, yeah. You have, but you found you weren't able to connect at that time. Well, I am holding a beautiful energy container for you today that you are going to be able to dive into your Akashic records, and it's going to be amazing. So let's first start discussing about what the Akashic records are. The Akashic records are an energetic recording of your soul's journey over every lifetime. And so I like to think of the Akashic records kind of like an endless library of your soul. And so the Akashic records can be accessed to gain insight into basically every aspect of your life, including discovering your soul's purpose, your gifts, your relationships, past lives. And I also think it's really interesting to think about that the Akashic Records goes beyond the individual soul and holds collective wisdom of souls, both past, present, and future. So sometimes you might hear the Akashic Records be called other names like the Book of Life or like the Hall of Records. And so a question I often get is Akashic. What the heck is that? So it's not exactly an intuitive word, right? So funny story, actually, years before I discovered the Akashic Records, I was walking around a local healing and holistic fair, just kind of getting a feel of what I wanted to do that day, hoping my intuition would bring me to the right place. And I walked by a table and it said Akashic Records. And I read it and I literally thought, what the hell is that? And I kept walking. Eventually, I slowed down and I read a little more info that was on the booth, and it said something like, open up a conversation with your soul. I was like, that is exactly what I want to do. So, Akashic, not the most intuitive word. It doesn't exactly describe what it means. If I had the power bestowed on me to rename the Akashic records, I would just simply call them your soul records. So the word Akashic is actually formed from the word Akasha, which is a Sanskrit word, and it means primary substance that out of all things are formed. Really helpful, right? So Akasha basically can like loosely be translated to like ether or spirit. It's energy in its earliest state. So think of your Akashic records like your soul records. A lot of people often visualize the Akashic records like a great hall or a library in the heavens in order to like make the idea of it a little bit more logical or comprehensible. But in reality, of course, the Akashic records aren't a location. And I'll also share this with you too. When you go into your Akashic records, don't necessarily go into it thinking you're going to see a library or books or schools or something like that. People experience their Akashic records completely different. And so be completely open to the experience so you don't miss what is happening. So one important thing that I want to make sure you all take away from today is that everyone has access to their own Akashic records. Everyone, including you, including me, including the dude down the street that thinks it's all a bunch of woo-woo stuff. Everyone has access to their Akashic records. And more than likely, you may have tapped into them before without even knowing it. So I want you to know how powerful of a tool the Akashic records are. And so I want to share a little bit about how accessing the Akashic records can help you heal and transform your life. And so I want to share a number of different ways you can tap into your records and kind of what it can share with you. So the number one question I get in the Akashic records, does anyone want to take a guess before I share you? Get your typing fingers up and tell me, what do you think the number one question I get in an Akashic record reading is? I'll give you just a sec and see if it comes in. Oh, and Terry, you say you're ready, but you haven't looked at your records before. Well, I'm glad you're here and you're going to get a chance to do it today. So any guesses on what the number one question by far that I get in an Akashic record reading? Yes, Mintha, nailed it. What is my life purpose? What's my life purpose? What's my soul purpose? Number one question I get, hands down. Yep, Carolyn, you're on it too. Yeah, so that is the number one question I get in the Akashic records, and I think it's just such a powerful place to receive deeper insight on what your soul is here to accomplish in this lifetime. And so you can open up your Akashic Records and discover your soul's mission for this lifetime and really gain clarity on the experiences and lessons that align with your higher calling. And so before your soul incarnates into each lifetime, you decide what soul growth, lessons, experiences, missions you would like to experience in this lifetime. And so having a better understanding of your soul purpose can help you better understand these like big themes you have going on in your life and what your soul is wanting to experience to really help you keep yourself on path. That's another question I often get in the records of like, am I on path? Am I on the path of where I'm supposed to be? And so it could give you a lot of insight about that. So another fun thing that you can explore in the Akashic Records is past lives. So you can understand how past life experiences influence your present challenges, fears, or patterns, that then it can really offer healing by resolving any of this lasting energy from these past lives. And plus it's just fun. I mean, I think we already had a comment about wanting to know, if you had a lifetime in Egypt and things like that. So that can uncover lots of fun stuff. One of my personal favorite things to dig into with the Akashic Records is to learn more about lessons and patterns that you have in this lifetime. So you can really identify the recurring lessons that are showing up as patterns in your life that you're meant to work through, and also help you find clarity on the unconscious beliefs that may be shaping your life. One of the things, again, that I love about the Akashic Records is just like how quickly you can get to like the root level quickly. Instead of like digging and digging and digging what's underneath it, you can just like get there so fast. And that awareness just really helps you make different choices in your life to be able to move out of those patterns. Another area that I have a lot of people come to me about for the Akashic Records is to dig deeper into relationships. So you can gain deeper insights into your soul relationships, understanding the spiritual purpose behind the connections, maybe soul agreements that you've made, and then tying this in with past lives, what were past lives that you had together with some of your loved ones. It can bring a lot to light in those messages. And another fun area to dig into with your Akashic Records are your spiritual gifts. So really exploring what your intuitive and soul gifts are. You can discover past life talents. Another area that I help a lot of people out with in readings is how to overcome their blocks and understand what's preventing them from fully using their gifts in this lifetime. And the other piece too is, I talked about the Akashic Records being a really powerful healing tool. There's tons of healing available in the Akashic Records. One, because the Akashic Records just vibrate at such a high energetic frequency, it can simply bring healing just by being in your Akashic Records. But I also find that when it comes to healing, you really can't heal if you don't have awareness. So without awareness, no healing is possible. And so in the Akashic Records, you can make what might be unconscious or subconscious beliefs or patterns become conscious. And so then you can shift your energy and your behaviors, really transforming your life. So if you don't have awareness of what that belief, habit, or action is that's keeping you stuck, you're probably going to stay stuck. And so that's one of the areas where I think the Akashic Records are so powerful. Hey, Drew. I just caught the end of your session. It looked like a really fun one. Good to see you here. So let me know in the chat, based on what we've chatted about briefly about the Akashic Records, what are you most curious to learn about from your Akashic Records? My curious mind wants to know. So let me know in the chat what you're most curious to learn about from your Akashic Records. So I also want to chat with you just a little bit on how we're going to get into your records today and how you're going to receive information. Again, just giving you the bare bone basics to be able to get you into the records. And so how we're going to get into your records today is through a process called a pathway prayer. So it's there's a variety of methods that you can use to get into the Akashic Records, but one of the more common ways is to read a pathway prayer. And so I'll be reading and sharing my personal pathway prayer with you today. I personally love the pathway prayer process because it's easy and reliable. Like you read the prayer, you're in your records every time. Love it. So, here we're getting some answers to my question. Can your gatekeepers lead you to your Akashic records. Yeah. Yeah, you can, your gatekeepers that you work with can lead you to your Akashic records. They could actually be some of your main guides in the Akashic records. And you also can get into your Akashic records through dream state or through deep meditation, really, and with intention. But again, I am a big believer in the pathway prayer, just again for that ability to, like, every time you want to go in your records, you can read the prayer and get into your records. Easy and reliable. Um, and Susanna, you want to ask your guides what's next? Yeah, definitely. So here's how the pathway prayer works. It's a structured invocation, and you use it to access your Akashic records. So you can think of it like a sacred tool that opens the energetic gateway to your soul information, allowing you to connect with your own records or the records of others if you learn how to read the records for others. And so the prayer creates a vibrational alignment between your energy and the high frequency energy of the Akashic records, allowing you to receive insights, guidance, and healing. So when you say the pathway prayer with intention, it tunes your consciousness to the frequency of the Akashic records. So it creates a state of openness where you can intuitively receive information. So you're going to be receiving information from your intuitive records through your intuitive senses. So, your clairs, your clairsentience, clear feeling, clairvoyance, clear seeing, clairaudience, clear hearing, and so on and so forth. So this prayer essentially serves as a key, unlocking the wisdom stored in your records while keeping you grounded and protected during that experience. So there's typically an opening pathway prayer or a prayer to open the records, and then there's a closing prayer. So a prayer to close the records. Normally you would read the prayer, but since we're on a live stream today, I'll be reading it out loud and I'll have you follow along. Oh, and what a lovely day. You have to make sure the Akashic records are closed after you're done, right? Yep. Definitely. So that's part of the pathway prayer process. So after we spend a little bit of time in your Akashic records today, I'll be leading you through the process to close your records too. So you will also be receiving information from your guides of the records. So we'll talk about your clairs and your guides. So you all here are probably quite familiar with your intuitive senses. And so, as you know, this can sound, look, and feel differently for everyone. So you might receive messages with more of like imagery or colors or symbols, or you might receive your guidance more through feelings or knowings or a combination of all. And so I suggest when you go into your records, you keep a completely open idea of how the information might come in, because if we have an expectation of what it's going to look like or feel like or what we're going to experience, oftentimes we look so hard for that we actually miss what is happening. And so earlier in this live stream, I was sharing with you, like, a lot of people go into their Akashic records thinking they're going to have this like vision of being in a grand library, or being able to, like, pick a book of a specific life and open it and read word for word what happened. Maybe that's how you'll experience it, but that's not how most people experience it. So just check yourself, if you have a little bit of an expectation of what you might expect when you go into your records. And Maria, thanks for joining, and good evening to you too. You're asking, how can we learn to get access to our Akashic records? And you'd love to know what your real purpose is on this planet. Well, you are in the perfect place, because you are going to access your Akashic records yourself in this live stream. I'll be leading you into your Akashic records through a pathway prayer process. And the questions actually we're going to ask today are about your soul purpose. So you are in the perfect place. Glad you joined. Okay, so let's talk about your guides real quick and the records too, and then we'll start to dig in and give you this experience. So the guides of your records are the spiritual beings that help you access the wisdom and healing that's stored in your records. I like to call them angels and guides, but different teachers of the Akashic records are going to use a lot of different names. But really what you call them doesn't matter. These beings can include your personal guardian angels, Akashic angels, spirit guides, even past loved ones or ancestors. And each one of these guides are really uniquely suited to help you navigate your records. And so some may feel the presence of specific angels. So if that's something that you're accustomed to, like, oh, I can I can feel that this is Archangel Michael coming in, or this is Archangel Jophiel, or this is my grandma. That might be how you experience receiving guidance from the Akashic Records. But for most people, you don't necessarily connect a message to a specific guide. You connect more to the energy of the Akashic Records itself and simply receive guidance. So if you aren't necessarily not able to connect what specific guide you're receiving from, like I wouldn't even worry about it. In some ways, I think it streamlines the process. You open the records, you get your guidance from the records. So who is ready to experience your Akashic Records? Let me know in the chat. And I actually think we have enough time. What I really want to do is have you experience the difference between asking the same exact question to your intuition and then opening up your Akashic Records and being able to feel the difference between how you receive the guidance. So we're going to do that today. Tracy, hi. Good to see you. Perfect. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take just a minute to get a little bit grounded. So I'm going to lead you through just a really short grounding meditation. And really, I suggest doing grounding before you do any sort of intuitive work, simply because it helps you connect to your inner world and the magic of your body. When we get a little bit disconnected from our body and we get overconnected to our minds, a lot of times we miss the intuitive messages that we're receiving. So we're going to go ahead and get ourselves a little bit grounded. And then, so make sure you have like a paper and a pen or something like that out where you can maybe jot down a few notes. And oh, thanks, Tracy, about loving my hair. It's a lot of fun. It's for those of you who haven't had bangs before, it took me quite a bit of time to get accustomed to having hair in my face. But I think I'm getting used to it now. So thanks, Tracy. So I invite you to close your eyes and simply start to connect to your breath, just bringing awareness into your body and into your internal world. And start to bring your awareness down to the bottoms of your feet. You have chakras on the bottoms of your feet. And I want you to set the intention that you're allowing those chakras to fully open up. Maybe you can see that happening in your mind's eye. Maybe you can feel that energy shifting on the bottoms of your feet. Maybe it feels like pressure or tingling or something else. And allow your energy to start to flow out through the bottoms of your feet, down through the floor, and all the way down through the surface of the earth. And I want you to send that energy down through all the different layers of the earth, just so quickly, shooting that energy all the way down to the center of the earth. That's full of just beautiful healing energy. And as you connect to that energy, I want you to take a nice deep breath and pull that earth energy up through the bottoms of your feet, and pull that earth energy up through your legs, through your belly, through your back, all the way up through your head, allowing this earth energy to help you stay fully grounded and present in each moment. And now that you're grounded, I want you to ask your intuition, what is my soul purpose? Ask your intuition, what is my soul purpose? Just notice any thoughts, any feelings, any knowings. Maybe you get a symbol or a picture. I'd say if it doesn't make 100% sense, don't worry about it. Just write it down. Jot down notes about it. What is my soul purpose? And then ask your intuition, what soul gifts am I meant to share in this lifetime? What soul is meant to share in this lifetime? Again, I encourage you to jot down any thoughts, feelings, words, images, however your intuitive senses come through. Okay, so now let's open up your Akashic Records. So once again, since we're on a live stream, I'm going to be reading the prayer to you, and I'll just read it slowly, and I want you to follow along. And as you are following along with this prayer, and as you enter your records, I want you just to stay really present in yourself. And I want you just to spend a little bit of time reflecting on how you feel or what you experience, or if you felt any change in or around your body. Again, as you're reading this prayer in your mind, as you follow it along with me, and as you open up your Akashic Records. And so I'll give you a moment just to pause after we're done with the prayer, and then I'll give you the questions again. So follow along with me, either out loud or in your mind, whatever you prefer. Creator of all that is, Archangel Jermael, Raziel, and Metatron, and all the guides of the Akasha, thank you for allowing me to be a clear channel of the truth through the Akashic Records. Keep me grounded, present, and focused, and help me step into my highest self. I ask for the highest amount of healing and guidance available for the greatest good of all. Help me to see myself as I am seen, known, and loved in the light of the Akashic Records. Help me to access the inspiration, empowerment, and power of my soul in the Akashic Records. Help me to share the wisdom, healing, and compassion for me in the Akashic Records. The records are now open. So take that moment. Just notice, was there anything you were experiencing as you read the prayer? A lot of people experience a feeling of different chakras opening up, just as one place to pay attention to. And notice what happens after you say the records are now open. Does the energy feel any different? Is there anything that you experience? And so after you have a chance to reflect on that a little bit, I'm going to have you ask the same questions to your angels and guides in the records that we did to your intuition. So you can start with, what is my soul purpose? Angels and guides of the records, what is my soul purpose? So I'm giving you a moment just to receive that information in any way that your guides of the records would like to share that to you. What is my soul purpose? And then when you feel ready for your second question, that second question was, what soul gifts am I meant to share in this lifetime? Angels and guides of my records, what soul gifts am I meant to share in this lifetime? So I want to make sure you're getting time to receive these full answers. If you feel like there's more, simply ask your angels and guides for more. Share more about this with me, or share it maybe in a different way. So if it feels like it's hard to understand, you can always ask for, show me this in a different way. And I want to make sure I'm giving you a few moments in the records too. So if you feel like you've received the guidance that you need on these two questions, and you have other questions, like I know a few of you had questions about pain that you might have in different parts of your body or past life experiences, feel free. This is your time. Ask your angels and guides. Come up with at least one more question that you want to ask now that you're in your records. I'll give you a minute or two for that. And again, I suggest jotting anything down, even if it doesn't make sense, because it might later. A lot of times our intuitive messages don't necessarily make logical sense on the surface. And receiving messages can kind of almost be like a dream state, you know? You wake up from a dream and you're like, wow, that was intense. I'm never going to forget that. And then every minute that you're awake, you forget more and more of the details. You can experience that in the Akashic Records too. So just jot those notes down. So we'll come back together in just a moment. And so let's come back together and we're going to close your Akashic Records now. So we had used the pathway prayer to open your records. So now we're going to do the closing prayer to close your Akashic Records. And so again, I'm just going to read this out loud and I'm going to have you follow along with me. You can say it quietly in your mind or you can say it out loud, whichever one you prefer. I would like to thank the creator of all that is, and all of the archangels and guides of the Akasha for your love, guidance, and healing. The records are now closed. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. My personal practice and suggestion after doing intuitive work and visiting, high frequency places like the Akashic Records is to always re-ground yourself as you come back to. And sometimes when we access these higher energies, it can get us a little bit out of body too. So I'm just going to have us do the same little grounding meditation that we did before, just to bring you back fully into your body and release any excess energy that you no longer need. So, and Vicki, you missed opening your record. I'm sorry that you missed that, but you will be able to go back in and listen to the replay of this at any time, so you can open up your own records. And Seashells, it says, "Can I ask a question?" Yeah, if you have any questions about the Akashic Records or the process, yeah, definitely chime in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer your question. So let's get grounded. I invite you to close your eyes again and to bring your awareness back down to the bottoms of your feet. Allow that beautiful energy to start to flow out through the bottoms of your feet again, easily flowing through the floor beneath your feet, all the way down to the surface of the earth. And then let that energy flow down to the center of the earth, almost like as fast as the speed of light, just bam, getting there so quick. And again, taking a deep, beautiful breath and pulling that earth energy up through the bottoms of your feet, pulling that earth energy all the way through your whole body, really setting the intention that you're clearing and cleansing any energies you no longer need. And as you exhale, just take one big exhale and just blow out, release any of that energy you no longer need. Send it back down into the earth, becoming fully grounded and present again. Oh, and Seashells, you say you're shown that you're an ancestor and that you understand that. However, you do feel a wanting to return back home. Yeah. Sometimes we can, without having a real consistent connection to our angels and guides, sometimes we can feel lonely on earth. And so I think continuing to connect with your angels and your guides and asking them for support and to have them show that you're there with you, that you can feel more peaceful in your life here, that might help. Yeah. So I'm so curious. I want to hear in the chat a number of things. One, what you experienced as you were going into your records. I saw a couple comments. Mintha said, "I can feel my heart chakra expanding." I hear that from a lot of people, where they can really feel that space just open up. Another common one that I hear is that people will feel like their third eye or their crown just like really expands as they read the prayer and move into the record. So you might feel some different things like in your energy body like that. And I'm also super curious about what you experienced as potentially a difference between receiving guidance from your intuition versus the Akashic Records. Was there any different like energy or kind of flavor to the messages that you received? Oh, and Carolyn, you're saying, I remember friends saying that her Akashic guides had changed. Have you heard of that or experienced that? Some people have different guides to their Akashic records almost every time they go in. Some people never actually get a sense of who their Akashic guides are. They just, again, feel like more of like the overall energy of the Akashic records rather than the individual energy of the guides. So Akashic guides can be a lot like any of our spirit guides. They can kind of come in and come out of our lives depending on what they're helping us with. And so sometimes those guides can be with us for really, really long periods of time, and other times they can be just kind of in and out. So yeah, I have heard of that, Carolyn. Um, Oh, and Tracy, lots of violet flames clearing your energy and then a deep sense of peace. Oh, that sounds delightful. Oh, and Susanna, your guides in the Akashic Records were really playful. That's really cool. Yeah. So, anything anyone wants to share about the different flavor that maybe you received from the questions that you asked in your Akashic Records versus your intuition? I'll wait to hear your comments here, but I can share what I've heard from people over sharing this exercise with many, many people, teaching a lot of people how to read the Akashic Records. Is people will often say that it's not that the message is necessarily different in the aspect of like different information. So it's not like your intuition or the Akashic records is right or wrong, for example, that it's a similar message. But what a lot of people share with the intuition, it's almost like a little snippet, like a little snapshot, maybe a word or a phrase or one feeling. But then when they open the records, it's like it really expands upon whatever that energy is. I had a friend actually who described it, I thought, so beautifully. She said, your intuition is kind of like an appetizer, and the Akashic Records is like a 5-course meal. So a lot of people, when they go into the Akashic Records, they're really surprised actually at like how much information that they get. Oh, and Carolyn, you feel like the records validated different intuitive hits you've been having. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear it. So I hope that you had lots of fun in your records and you learned a little bit more about your purpose and your gifts today. I mentioned this earlier, but I teach the Akashic Records and angel healing in my Akashic Angel Healing Academy. And I just wanted to mention really briefly for just 1 minute that it's now open for enrollment. It's a one time a year opportunity. It's a dual certification program in reading the Akashic Records for yourself and others and in angel healing. And it's really designed to help you expand your intuitive abilities and help you connect with your angels and your Akashic Records to help you fully step into your purpose. And so you can find information about the Academy if you're interested in it on my website, which is just ambermaier.com. And it's in the description of this video as well. So you can find a link to the Academy there if you're interested in learning more about it. I did want to share it with you just because there's a big early bird discount and a bunch of bonuses that just go through this Friday. So if you're interested in it, take a peek at it. But if you're interested in an Akashic record reading or anything else about the work that I do, you can find that on my website too. And oh, Leilani, you said it was a big difference. It was more of a story. Yeah, that's a great way to describe it. I love it. So I thank you all again for joining me today on this beautiful last day of Love Fest. Can we give another like round of applause to all the people who have been showing up live and sharing their magic, and just send like all sorts of love to Corinne Grillo for giving us this beautiful gift of being able to share this space together. I don't know, she amazes me. I love her. So I thank you again for coming on and spending your precious, precious time with me again. And I will see you